Welcome, everybody, to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Hey, everyone, John here. I wanted to jump on today and talk about questioning. To ask a question or not to ask a question, that is the question. So really, questions allow us as frontline leaders to be curious. And being curious is one of the most probably interesting characteristics that leaders can exhibit. And the reason I say that is there is true curiosity, and then there is being curious or asking questions, trying to get people to see your point or lead them to a point that you want. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I really want you all, whenever you go into a conversation or we are trying to learn more about something, we need to, one, assume positive intent. And that simply is that individual who you're having a conversation with has the best interest for both you and them at heart. And then the second piece is you're going to have to actively listen. What does that look like? You're going to have to look them in the eye, get rid of all the distractions. You're going to quiet the mind, and you're going to pay attention. So let's talk about asking questions. And we'll start with characteristics of good questions. So the first one is to be authentic. Whenever you're asking questions, you need to be authentic. It goes back to what I said earlier. Don't ask rhetorical questions, or don't ask questions that you already have a pre-formulated answer to that's not authentic. One thing that I think I do as a leader is sometimes I will ask a question and it will be a question that I know the answer to already, and I'm just trying to fish. We all know what fishing is. Or the other piece to that, or the flip side to that, is I truly don't know what the question is, and I don't ask it, or I don't know what the issue is, and I don't ask the authentic question for fear of me looking like I don't know what I'm talking about, or fear of maybe them thinking that I'm not up to par, that sort of thing, just the fear of the unknowing. And that's something that we catch ourselves in, or at least I do as a frontline leader. So one, be authentic when we're asking questions. The second point on asking good questions or characteristics is ask open-ended questions. And we all know what open-ended questions look like, so I'm not really going to go in depth on what an open-ended question is, but it should elicit an open-ended question, should elicit a response that just can't be simply answered with a one word or a yes or a no. I always try to ask or start questions with how or what or why is a good starting point. That way, it elicits some sort of response. How do you see it? Why do you feel that way? Or why is it that way? So the second piece, open-ended. And the third one, I think, is more of a process than it is a characteristic of a good question, but it will help you in your line of questioning. And we should be asking questions to create clarity. And that piece is missed sometimes, especially if we're provoking or we're asking questions that we already know the answer to. I ask questions because I simply want to understand more, either about the person or about the situation or about the challenge or topic of conversation. And so you really have to ask questions with the intent to gain clarity. And if you do that, I promise you the questions you're going to ask aren't going to come off as you're just being facetious or you're patronizing me type questions. So do those three things. Be authentic, make sure you're authentic, make sure that they're open-ended, and then always be working towards creating clarity when we're asking those questions. So go out, ask some good questions. I hope this helps somebody today. Go be great. Talk to everyone later. Bye-bye. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us get others to where they're going.